Russia and Ukraine exchanged hundreds more prisoners Saturday, as part of a major swap that was a moment of cooperation in otherwise failed efforts to reach a ceasefire. According to Associated Press, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and Russia's defense ministry said each side brought home 307 more soldiers, a day after each released a total of 390 combatants and civilians. Among those who returned today are soldiers from our army, the State Border Service, and the National Guard of Ukraine, Zelensky said on his official Telegram channel. We expect more to come tomorrow, he added. Russia's defense ministry also said it expected the exchange to be continued, though it did not give details. The news came hours after Kiev came under a large-scale Russian drone and missile attack that left at least 15 people injured, according to local officials. Kyiv and Moscow agreed to swap 1,000 prisoners from each side during talks in Istanbul last week. It was a rare moment of cooperation in otherwise failed efforts to reach a ceasefire in the three-year-old conflict. Russia and Ukraine began a major prisoner exchange Friday, swapping hundreds of soldiers and civilians in the first phase of an exchange that was a moment of cooperation in otherwise failed efforts to reach a ceasefire in the three-year-old war. According to Associated Press, President Volodymyr Zelensky said the first phase of the exchange brought home 390 Ukrainians, including soldiers and civilians, with further releases expected over the weekend that will make it the largest swap of the war. Russia's defense ministry said it had received the same number from Ukraine. It's very important to bring everyone home, Zelensky wrote on Telegram, thanking all who worked to secure their return and pledging to continue diplomatic efforts to make more exchanges possible. Dozens of relatives of prisoners cheered and chanted, "Thank you," as buses carrying the freed captives arrived at a medical facility in Ukraine's Chernihiv region. The men, some with expressionless faces and others unable to contain their emotions, got off the buses wrapped in Ukrainian flags for joyful reunions. Kyiv and Moscow agreed in Istanbul last week to the exchange of 1,000 prisoners from each side in their first direct peace talks since the early weeks of Russia's 2022 invasion. That meeting lasted only 2 hours and brought no breakthrough in US-led efforts to stop the fighting. The swap took place at the border with Belarus in northern Ukraine, according to a Ukrainian official who spoke on condition of anonymity because he was not authorized to speak publicly. The exchange, which would be the latest of dozens of swaps since the war began and the biggest involving Ukrainian civilians at one time, didn't herald any halt in fighting. Battles continues along the roughly 1,000-kilometer front line, where tens of thousands of soldiers have been killed, and neither country has relented in its deep strikes.
Мам, привет! Мам, привет! Мам, меня обменяли, мам! Мам, я дома, все, меня обменяли, мам! Мам, меня обменяли, все, я дома. Я живой, со мной все хорошо, мам.
Є! Бачу, прикордонників бачу!
Тероборону візьми!
Тероборону не видно!
З землі! Слава Україні!
Героям слава!
Слава Україні!
Героям слава!
Слава Україні!
Героям слава!
Дякуємо!
Тепер з нами, все добре, все.
Тепер пам'ятаю.
Вітаю. Безвісти з ним.
Ще з тих, що дуже люблю, що чекаю, коли вона вже до мене приїде. Бо ми 3 роки не бачили, дуже сумую за нею, дуже скучу. Хочу вже побачити.
Гордашко.
Гордашка незнайома.
Макеїв.
Уланович Євген. Уланович Євген.
Тяжко и состояние нестабильное, растерянность, так, трошки тяжко. Со словами, с пам'яттю проблеми, словами не знаю, що казати, ну, тяжкувато. До последнего ми 2 суток їхали, ми не знали, куди ми їдемо. Чи ми на обмін, чи нас просто на другу тюрму, не знаю.
First of all, in this exchange at the moment, there are prisoners of war and civilians. We're working with all categories, with all the components of the defense forces, so they are included, and we're working to finalize the first stage. It's 1,000 people. Дякую. Слава Україні!